Good morning, and welcome to episode 58 of Getting Rich. I'm your host, Rich Checkan, president of Asset Strategies International, and today is Wednesday, January 5th, 2022. Looking back over the past year, I want to start off by touching on some of the key indices for the year and how they performed year on year, December 31st to December 31st. The equities markets all did rather well last year. The Dow was up 18.7% on the year. The S&P 500 was up 26.9%, and the NASDAQ was up 21.6%. Your big winners last year, Bitcoin coming in at 59.3%, and actually slightly better was oil coming in at 62.9% increase year on year. All of your currencies stumbled against the dollar, to include the world's only real currencies, gold and silver. Gold was down 3.5% on the year. Silver was down 12.5%. Platinum down 10.1%. And palladium down 25.8%. Now, you look at the conditions for the past year and you wonder, my God, why did that happen in an area where inflation, or in an economy where inflation is looming large? Why wouldn't people be buying gold and silver with both hands? I think part of it may be greed. I think part of it may be ignorance. I think the Fed has people fooled, although they absolutely should not. Maybe it's a little bit of both, but I see that carrying into 2022. So although even more so this year you should be buying with both hands, I think we might see a little bit of a pause there, as well as greed continues to work its way through the system. You know, the low interest rate environment that we're in gives you a negative real return. Now, the Fed is talking about raising interest rates, but we're talking 1/4 point 3 times this year. Zero impact. Absolutely means nothing. If there was any sort of sizable increase in the interest rate, the interest rates over the year, it would basically kill the servicing of the U.S. debt. So they can't do it. And the little stuff is really more symbolic and psychological. We're also looking at cutting back on asset purchases by March, removing them, but until then, we're still buying more assets and putting them on the books, and there's no talk of selling them off. Equities are overvalued, PE ratios are at dizzying heights. I do think that the precious metals, specifically gold and silver, are poised for an incredible run, but I just don't see it materializing because I still see greed owning the day over fear, for that matter. Let's take a look at the prices week on week, although we are seeing a little bit of a rally. Gold this week is at $1821.40 per ounce, up 1.5% from $1796.30 last week. Silver is up 1% at $23.16 from $22.95 last week. Platinum is up 1.25% to $988 from $976 an ounce last week. And palladium is down 2.5% to $2,014 from $2,065 last week. With gold outpacing silver to the upside this week, the gold-silver ratio is slightly elevated. It's at 78.94 from 78.57 last week. And as you can imagine, the dollar's under a little bit of a pressure over the past week. It's down to 96.09 from 96.33 last week. Folks, my best advice although I can't give advice, but my best suggestion or recommendation for 2022 is for you to go ahead and buy well your gold and silver at these levels. I don't know how long this extended buying opportunity will last, but it's a great time to take care of personal funds. It's a great time to take care of your IRA holdings and get your metals in there. Shore up your portfolio with real money. As always, want you to go ahead and subscribe and like us on YouTube. Follow us on social media at Asset Strategies. Pay attention tomorrow. January issue of Information Line is coming out. It's a fantastic newsletter with articles from Frank Holmes, Bill Bonner, Andy Snyder, And Andy Snyder will be our guest for our first quarter On the Move webinar. Circle it on your calendar, 7 p.m. Eastern Time on Wednesday, January 19th. Chris Blasi and I will be hosting with Andy Snyder, looking at last year, looking ahead to this year, and giving you our best thoughts. In the meantime, you know what I'm going to say. Getting rich always starts with keeping what's yours.